Did Dewey Riley know that Stu Macher is alive? And is that what led to the destruction of GALE and Dewey's relationship? Let's talk about it.
Certain rules. Push the laws and you end up dead.
This is the moment when the supposedly dead killer comes back to life.
Not in my movie.
Surprise, Sydney.
He's gone mad.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
A very simple formula.
You want to play psycho killer?
Everybody's a suspect.
No, please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel.
I'll be right back.
Okay, I think it's gonna go something like this.
I'm Pamela, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning into another video. Before we get started, I do want to say a quick thank you to all of my channel members. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for signing up. If you would also like to become an exclusive member of the channel, you can follow the link down below in the description. You will get access to exclusive content and these fun emojis that you can use in the comment section of all of my videos or in the live chat during all of my live streams. And I'd also like to just remind you guys that I do have some merch for sale. I have my Sistapam Spookfest 2024 merch, and then my typical merch, Team Macher, Team Loomis, and Stu Crew. But okay, let's get into this theory. Did Dewey Riley know that Stu Macher is alive? In case you're new here, you should know that I am a Stu Macher believer. I do fully believe that Stu is alive. I think he's been alive all these years, and he will return in Scream 7 and be leading a cult of ghost faces. So as we know, at the end of Scream 1996, we are made to believe that Stu Macher died. But there are many of us out there who don't believe he's dead, including a lot of the actors from Scream, as well as some of the writers. Obviously, Sydney dropped a TV on him, and a lot of people think that he's dead, but there are many of us out there who believe that he's alive. There are so many clues in these newer Scream movies that he's still alive. You can check out my Stu Macher playlist on the channel. I have so many Stu videos where we discuss a lot of these clues. So my main theory is that the Woodsboro police helped to cover up Stu being alive, and they helped him fake his death. I go into great detail about this in a lot of past videos. I do think that Stu's parents had a lot of money. Just look at the house that they live in. And Woodsboro is a small town, so it's very possible that they were friends with the police. You know, maybe they were good friends with Sheriff Burke. I do think that Sheriff Burke possibly played a bigger role in this than we know. So I think that the Macher parents paid off the police to help their son get away with things. And Dewey Riley was part of the police. So I think there's a good chance that he was sworn to secrecy, had to keep this secret all these years, and that can help explain why he could never work things out with GALE. They always had a rocky relationship, which ultimately ended for good between the events of Scream 4 and Scream 5. I think this could also explain why Dewey couldn't keep his job on the police force. He was let go, he was asked to step down, and it could also help explain why he turned to alcohol. We learn in Scream 5 that he is a little bit of an alcoholic. He is seen putting liquor in his morning coffee, and Wes Hicks even says something like, "You crawled to the bottom of a bottle." Something that I have pointed out before on the channel is this scene in the final act when Sydney is in the police car and she radios the police. She says, "I'm at 261 Turner Lane, Stu Macher's house. He's trying to kill me." And the way that this is worded, it literally sounds like she's saying, "Stu Macher is trying to kill me."
I'm at Stu Macher's house on Turner Lane. It's 261 Turner Lane, please. He's gonna try and kill me.
She doesn't know that Stu is the killer at this point, because this is before the reveal, but the way that she words it literally sounds like she's saying, "Stu is trying to kill me." So, and then a lot of time passes between that message to the police and when the police actually arrive at the end. A lot of time passes between that, a lot of stuff goes down. So honestly, why did it take the police that long to get there? I think that that message could have gone through to Sheriff Burke, and Sheriff Burke is friends with the Macher parents, and they're away on vacation, but what if Sheriff Burke called them and said, do you know what your son is up to? He's the killer that we have going around town. And the Macher parents begged him to help their son, offered him money. You know, maybe they said he's a good kid, he just fell in with the wrong crowd, or whatever they had to say to convince Sheriff Burke. And that's kind of why it took the police a long time to arrive, because Sheriff Burke was trying to figure something out, some way to help out Stu and help him get away with it in the end. So Dewey, as a police officer, could have known about this, and he would have been sworn to secrecy. Like, if you want to keep your job, then you better keep your mouth shut. And we know that Dewey loves his job, and he loves Woodsboro. We learn this throughout the rest of the franchise, that he loves Woodsboro. He doesn't want to live anywhere else. Woodsboro is the only place that's real to him. So he loves his job and doesn't want to do anything to jeopardize it. And perhaps he also felt that keeping this secret about Stu being alive could also protect Sydney. He didn't want her to worry about things and to be looking over her shoulder for the rest of her life. Now, if Dewey knew about Stu being alive, this could also explain why he hurried to show up to her college in Scream 2. In Scream 2, the second there is word of a Ghostface attack, he hops on the next plane and shows up to her college. Maybe it's because he is worried that Stu has come back for her. And like I said previously, Dewey and GALE's relationship was always in shambles. Like, they could never work things out. They are constantly on again and off again throughout the entire franchise until finally being done for good between the events of Scream 4 and Scream 5. And the way that things ended between them is just a little suspicious to me and concerning. Like, they were living together in New York and he just left in the middle of the night. He couldn't even face her and say, things aren't working out, I'm leaving. What if it's because this secret was eating away at him? Every time I watch Scream 5 and I get to that scene between Dewey and GALE talking about what happened to them and him leaving her in the middle of the night, I'm always like, I don't understand. Like, what the hell happened? And also, like I said, he was asked to step down from his job because this secret was just eating away at him and affected how he was doing his job. Or who knows, maybe he wasn't even asked to step down. Maybe he quit. Maybe he chose to step down. And he just told GALE that they asked him to leave because he didn't know how to explain the fact that he chose to leave the job himself because he just couldn't take the secret anymore and it was eating away at him. And that also explains why he turned to alcohol, because this secret is just completely destroying his life. And what if in Scream 7, we get maybe a flashback of Dewey kind of knowing about this secret, or what if we get a videotape from him the same way we did with Randy in Scream 3? What if Dewey made a videotape for Sydney and GALE talking about the fact that Stu is alive? Or maybe he wrote them a letter and maybe we'll get a flashback to him writing the letter about what he knows. There's a lot of possibilities and things that they could do with this. I do hope that Scream 7 is filled with a bunch of new revelations, new information that we didn't know before. But now this also brings me to Kirby Reed. This is something that I've also talked about on the channel. I think that Kirby Reed knows that Stu is alive and she is hunting him down and hunting down his cult. She is an FBI agent, and if anyone's going to be hunting down this cult, it's going to be the FBI. Especially because I do think that this cult will be widespread across the country. So it makes sense that the FBI would need to get involved in this, to travel across state lines to investigate, which is exactly what Kirby had to do in Scream 6. She traveled from Georgia to New York to investigate these Ghostface attacks. I think that is a major clue right there for the cult. If you're familiar with my channel, then I probably sound like a broken record at this point, but in case you're new here, I do think that Richie, Amber, Jason, and Greg were all a part of Stu's cult. Amber and Richie met online on a message board. Amber admits this, and she says that she was radicalized, just wanted to be a part of something. So I think this message board is where Stu is recruiting people for his cult. And I do think that Jason and Greg also met Richie and Amber on this message board online. Jason said, we have to finish Richie's movie. So I think they knew each other. And Kirby even says, I've been investigating Jason and Greg's online activity for the past couple months.
I've been investigating their online activity for the past few months.
So that is just, to me, that tells me everything is connected. I think that Kirby knows Stu is alive, and she couldn't tell the core four. She couldn't tell other characters in Scream 6 because this is top secret information. I think the scene with her and Mindy talking about Stu is very telling. Kirby says the TV that killed Stu Macher. Mindy says, yeah, if you believe he's really dead. And Kirby doesn't say anything. She doesn't say to Mindy, that's crazy, where'd you get this idea from? And her facial expression is very suspicious. So I think we're gonna find out in Scream 7 that Kirby knows and she has been investigating Stu Macher and his cult. Hopefully she can team up with Mark Kincaid. I would love to see that. We're lacking in police figures. We no longer have Dewey or Judy. We got Kirby back in 6. Hopefully she returns in 7. And hopefully so does Mark Kincaid. And they can team up to hunt down Stu and his cult and help protect Sydney. Another thing I want to bring up is when Kirby is looking at the police board of ghost faces with Detective Bailey, notice this look on her face when she is looking in the direction of Stu's photo. It's just a concerning look, like she might know something, she's stressed out because she is working on this case of hunting down Stu. I don't know, I just thought this look on her face was interesting. And one last thing that I want to point out is, a lot of people say the fact that Kirby kills Ethan at the end of the movie with Stu Macher's TV. A lot of people say, oh, because Ethan's dead, that must mean Stu's dead. Like that was the writer's way of showing that the TV did in fact kill Stu. But here's what I think about this. After Kirby throws the TV at Ethan, she says, I saw that in a scary movie once.
I saw that in a scary movie once.
But earlier in the movie, when she's looking at the police board with Bailey, she says, forget the movies. The movies don't matter.
Forget about the movies don't matter.
So I just think that means like, even if the TV killed Stu in the Stab universe, that doesn't mean it really killed him in real life. Just something to think about. But that's it for today. Those are some theories that I have, that Dewey Riley knew Stu was alive and that Kirby Reed currently knows he's alive and is hunting him down and his cult. Thank you so much for tuning into another video. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And turn on all notifications so that you don't miss out on future Scream theories or Scream 7 updates. But thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time.